What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Taco Tuesday. And the change of defensive coordinator from Ed Donatel last season to Brian Flores has been a big to-do for the Vikings, right? And the Vikings defense last year was the worst. It was bad. It was just not very good. And the lack of changes, the lack of trying, the lack of everything, it just really wore on the team. And it's amazing. Like, usually if you go 13-4, win the division, you don't change defensive coordinators, especially after one season on a new staff. But the Vikings did it. It was the right decision. And you could say, sure, replacing Flores, who is a young, up-and-coming, amazing coach, well regarded as a defensive mastermind, should and could be a future head coach yet again in this league. You would say that, hey, 1-for-1 replacing Donatel with Flores makes sense. But the Vikings didn't have Flores in as a lock, right? So they fired Donatel and they brought in a bunch of candidates, Sean Desai, etc. And I mean, they're lucky to land Flores, yes, but also they were ready to roll with Mike Pettin, which sort of is what it is. Head coach Kevin O'Connell spoke with Jeff Howe at The Athletic about the changes this offseason, and this is what he said, quote, "It was just one of those things where it was not the original intent of how we wanted to play defense." O'Connell said via The Athletic's Jeff Howe, "We didn't really reap the value. The original intent was to play a certain style, and that was 100% my fault. A big thing for me was bringing in Brian and relying on his expertise and experience, being able to take inventory of what we really were, what we're going to be personnel-wise, then activate the best possible schematics that we can fit what our players do well. I had a pretty clear-cut vision when I interviewed of how I wanted to play in all three phases, not just offense. You spend a lot of time game planning and doing things versus a lot of defenses and a lot of systems in our league. So in my mind, I had a clear-cut plan I hoped would materialize into success." And this write-up is via NFL Trade Rumors. They do a fantastic job over there. And yeah, O'Connell came in and is like, hey, I mean, we wanted the Vic Fangio style defense, and of course, Fangio's longtime lieutenant at Donatel just like, all right, we can't get Fangio, let's get the next best thing, and it was just not good. It was just not good, and we knew it wasn't good like midway through the season. And yeah, the Vikings won a handful of games with big defensive plays at the end, but consistently they were in close games because of the defense. And Kirk Cousins, respect, 8 game-winning fourth quarter, come from behind game-winning drives. He had to pull the teams out of the fire quite a bit because of the defense, and it was just not good. 10 of 18 games in the regular season, 400-plus yards allowed. 11 to 18 games, 18 games total because we only got one playoff game. Sad. 11 to 18 games, 24-plus points allowed on defense, 427 points allowed, 28th in the league, 31st in the league in yards allowed, 30th in the league in net passing yards per attempt, 6.9. Not nice. Average drive, 34.4 yards, 28th in the league. Red zone, 21st, 27th in defensive DVOA. It was just not good. It was just a very putrid year. And what was more disappointing is that the reason why Mike Zimmer got fired is that his defense sucked. And then the defense arguably was worse last season. And yeah, I mean, people give Kirk Cousins a lot of flack for the 4th and 8 play, but Kirk Cousins, last time I checked, didn't give up 28 first downs to the Giants, 31 points to Daniel friggin' Jones, 431 yards of offense, 7 to 13 on third down, 2 of 2 on fourth down. Yeah, Kirk Cousins did all that. Fantastic, man. And yeah, midseason we were saying, hey, replace Donatel with Mike Pettin. You have to do something. And would that have solved things? Probably not. I think part of the problem on defense was personnel. Older, slower. It sort of is what it is. But, I mean, just amping up the aggression and just blitzing and getting after it and taking chances. Like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, you can have a lot of points put up on you just by sitting back and letting life happen. That's exactly what happened against the Giants. And Daboll and Kafka had a fantastic game plan because they knew exactly what defense they were going to face because the Vikings had played them on Christmas Eve. It was the same damn thing. Shell coverage, off the receivers, letting things happen as opposed to getting all up in the grill, press man, and blitzing. And guess what? Sometimes you get beat. You're going to get beat if you just sit back as well. That's what happens, man. And Flores coming in. So this is why they brought in Flores. So taking a look at team blitz percentage as well as points allowed. So the last 2 years of Flores in Miami, and then last year with Donatel with the Vikings. So blitz ranking, 2020 Dolphins, second in the league. 2021 Dolphins, second in the league. So they get after. They bring the heat, and Flores loves playing multiple safeties. He loves when his linebackers blitz. He loves just slot cornerbacks. He will bring it all over the place. And the Vikings, I mean, 18.9%, 23rd in the league. and it had almost tapered off towards the end of the season, and it was really disappointing. And also, what was more disappointing is that Harrison Smith had averaged about 3 blitzes a game during his time with Zimmer. Last year, he had 14 total. And so even though Harrison had a great year in coverage, the best part of his game, blitzing down in the box, it was non-existent. And that's what sucked. And also points allowed, obviously, Dolphins 6th and 16th, and then last year 427 for the Vikings. So I understand why they moved to Flores, even though Flores could be a one and done. Like I said, he should and could be a head coach yet again in this league. But I think that Kevin O'Connell, I think that he finally has a guy who's going to implement his vision. And maybe Kevin O'Connell, first-time head coach, being a young guy too, maybe he deferred too much to the veteran Ed Donatel because you could tell, like, the defense, it was frustrating, and you could tell from Kevin O'Connell's press conference comments that he was frustrated by it, but what was he going to do as the head coach? Again, they'd be like, hey, blitz or you're fired. Maybe Kevin O'Connell will have the confidence to do that going forward, but he probably won't have to do that with Brian Flores. Blitzing, yeah, that's for sure, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell talks with The Athletic about the change from Ed Donatel to Brian Flores. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.